Hello guys, welcome to my channel and this is my first YouTube video. Please do subscribe us, share and like our videos. And this channel is for studying purpose. And the videos which I am going to upload in this channel are useful for competitive examinations. Please subscribe our channel study.com. Okay? Please do subscribe our channel study.com. If you encourage us, we will upload more videos which is helpful to you. Okay? If you have any doubts regarding any topic, please post it in comments. We will surely reply 100%. We will reply to that comment if any doubts are posted. Okay? We try to reply all the comments, okay, who has posted the doubts. I will be explaining in a clean and neat manner where everybody can understand those topics. Everybody can understand the topics which I am going to explain. Okay? Please do support us and please encourage us. And please do subscribe our channel study.com. Okay? Now, today's topic which I am going to explain is Vedic culture. Vedic culture, also known as Vedic age. Vedic culture, also known as Vedic age. The period of Vedic age is from 1500 BC to 600 BC. 1500 BC to 600 BC. Okay? Now coming to the point, what is BC? BC is nothing but before Christ. When the world has existed, the years are in decreasing order. Okay? And when it reached to 1 BC, it started 1 AD. AD means Anno Dominion. Okay? And in AD, the years are in ascending order, which means big, small to big. And in before Christ BC, the years are in descending order, which means big to small. Okay? These are the basics in history, so that I have diverted the topic and I have explained BC, about BC and AD. Now coming to the point of Vedic age. Why it was called as Vedic age? Why not so Indus Valley age and Mesopotamian age, etc.? Why not so? Because Vedas are composed in this period. Okay? Because Vedas are composed in this period. So that the name Vedic age. Okay? These Vedas are influenced by Brahmanical practices. Okay? Why Vedic age is not called as civilization? Because in Vedic age, people had not lived in cities. Just like IVC, Indus Valley Civilization. In Indus Valley Civilization, people have lived in cities and a well-developed culture was existed. So that the name was Indus Valley Civilization. But here, they had not lived in cities. So that we can't call them it as civilization. Okay? In this chapter, we are going to discuss Vedic literature, conditions, social conditions, economical conditions, religious conditions, political conditions. Now, Vedic age is divided into two parts, that is early Vedic age and later Vedic age. Early Vedic age is from 1500 BC to 1000 BC, and later Vedic age is from 1000 BC to 600 BC. We are going to discuss the conditions of early Vedic age and later Vedic age, both. Okay? Now coming to the point of Vedic literature. Vedic literature is of two types, Shruti literature and Smruti literature. First of all, what does the word Veda mean? Veda means sacred spiritual knowledge. Okay? The term Veda means sacred spiritual knowledge. Veda is known as Ved. It is Latin word. Okay? Which means to know. In Greek, Veda is known as Vidire, which means to see. Okay? And Vedas are called as Apaurushayas. Vedas are called as Apaurushayas because Vedas are not created by humankind. By mythological stories, Vedas are created by Brahma, the creator of the world. Okay? Brahma started Vedas, and these Vedas had transformed from one generation to other generation. Okay? Brahma had taught to Saunaka, and this Saunaka had taught to 7 sages. This Saunaka had taught to 7 sages. Okay? This Saunaka had taught to 7 sages, and by these sages it was transformed from one generation to other generation. Vedas are collected and compiled from different sources. Okay? Vedas contain hymns, prayers, chants, and sacrificial formula. Okay? What does hymns mean? Prayer songs of God. Sacrificial formula means to perform sacrifices like yagnas, homas, pujas, etc. Okay? Now coming to the point of Shruti literature. Shruti literature is nothing but, what does Shruti mean? Shruti is nothing but which means to hear. Shruti literature which means to hear. Under Shruti literature we are going to learn Vedas. Vedas are 4 types. We are going to discuss that later. Brahmanas, Aranyakas, and the Upanishads. Okay. Now coming to the point of Vedas. What does I have told you the meaning of Veda. Veda means sacred spiritual knowledge. Now coming to the types of Veda, it consists of 4 types. Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda and Atharva Veda. Okay. Rig Veda. It is the great Veda. In Rig Veda is the collection of hymns. As I already told you that hymns is nothing but prayer songs of God. It consists of 1028 hymns. Okay? Rig Veda is divided into 10 mandalas. It means 10 volumes or 10 books. I will be explaining some mandalas which are important for competitive examinations. Now coming to the point of mandalas, third mandala. It deals about Gayatri Mantra. Okay? It speaks about Gayatri Mantra. Gayatri Mantra is dedicated to solar god. That is Savitri god. Okay? Gayatri Mantra is taught to the boy when he becomes a student This is taught by Guru to the student. And this ceremony is known as Upanayara ceremony. Okay? And this is the important ceremony in life. Okay? And one important point to note down about Rig Veda is it belongs to early Vedic age, while all this belongs to later Vedic age. This is the only Veda which belongs to early Vedic age, and thus early Vedic age is also known as Rig Vedic age, because of Rig Veda belongs to that period, so that it was also called as Rig Vedic age. Now coming to the another mandala, that is 6th mandala. If you have any doubts, please post it in comments, guys. Okay? I will surely going to reply those comments. Okay? Now coming to the point of 6th mandala. It speaks about Hariya Priya city. What does Hariya Priya city means? It is nothing but Harappa. In Vedas, Harappa city is mentioned as Hariya Priya city. According to Rig Veda, God Indra had destroyed Harappan city. Okay? That's about 6th mandala. Now coming to the 9th mandala of Rig Veda, it speaks about Soma god. Soma god is the god of wine. Okay? Soma is the name of three things, that is tree, juice and God. Okay, now coming to the point of wine. Wine is of two types, that is Soma wine and Sura wine. Soma wine is for priestly class, that is Brahmins and Kshatriyas. Sura wine is for common man. This is for people who perform homas, yagnas. Sura is for common man. Now coming to the point of 10th mandala. 10th mandala speaks about Purusha Sukta theory. Okay? This speaks about Purusha Sukta theory. Purusha Sukta theory means it speaks about origin of Indian casteism. It explains 4 varnas. Of course, all should know that. I think all know about the 4 varnas, that are Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Sudras. Brahmanas are priestly class, Kshatriyas are warriors, Vaishyas are merchants. Sorry, not servants, merchants. Vaishyas are merchants. Sudras are servants to all these. Okay. Sudras belong to lower class and they are not eligible to perform yagnas and yagas. Yeah. Hotri is the priest of Rigveda. Please remember this, and this was important. Hotri is the priest of Rigveda. Okay? 1 to 7 mandalas are the oldest mandalas. Okay? Now, coming to the point of Samaveda. The word itself, Sama, denotes music. Samaveda means collection of melodies. What does melodies means? Melodies mean rhythmic styles of Rigvedic hymns. Okay? Rhythmic styles of Rigvedic hymns. Indian music is originated from Samaveda. Indian music is originated from Samaveda. Now coming to the point of Indian music. Indian music is of 2 types, Hindustan and Karnataka. Karnataka is of South India, whereas Hindustan is of North India. It is Karnataka music is devotional. Okay. Now music is based on 7 swaras, that is Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, Pa, Da, Ni. These have originated from nature itself. Swaras. What does swaras mean? Swaras are used for making ragam. Okay? Minimum 5 swaras is required to make ragam. Minimum 5 swaras is required to make a ragam. Okay? But a great Indian musician named Mangalampalli Murali Krishna Mangalampalli Murali Krishna is the expert in Karnataka music. He had made ragam by using just 4 swaras, which is a record till now. Okay, actually minimum 5 swaras is required compulsory to make a ragam, but he has used only 4 swaras for the first time in Indian history, and this is a record till now. He has used only 4 swaras. Okay, now coming to the actual point. Priest for Samaveda is Udgatri. Who is the priest for Samaveda? He is none other than Udgatri. Okay. Now let's move to another Veda, that is Yajur Veda. Yajur Veda is the collection of Brahmanical principles of yajnas and yagas. It is the collection of Brahmanical principles of yajnas and yagas. It is the only Veda which is available in prose form. Okay? Yajur Veda is divided into Shukla Yajur Veda and Krishna Yajur Veda. Shukla Yajur Veda is written in poetic form, whereas Krishna Yajur Veda is written in prose form. This is the only Veda found in prose form. Only Veda which is available in 2 parts is also Yajur Veda only. It speaks about rituals and cults. What does rituals and cults? I say in Telugu that rituals mean vratalu and cults means pujalu. Okay, I am with Telugu guys, so that I have said this in Telugu. Okay, for not, it speaks about rituals and cults. Okay, just note it down, rituals and cults. Okay, priest for Yajur Veda is Advaryu. Okay, priest for Yajur Veda is Advaryu. Okay, now moving to the next Veda, that is Atharva Veda. Now moving to the next Veda, that is Atharva Veda. Atharva Veda is different from other 3 Vedas. It describes the popular beliefs and superstitions of the humble folk. Okay? It contains magical spells or science. Scientific development has started in this period. Okay? In later coming days, Atharva Veda is called as science. It also contains mantras and tantras also. Priest for Atharva Veda is Advayu. Okay. Now coming to the point of Brahmanas. Brahmanas. Brahmanas are total 19 in number. But only 7 were available. They contains rituals and cults. Speaks about principle of sacrifices. Okay. Brahmanas are written in prose form. Okay. Actually, Vedas are divided as Brahmanas and Aranyakas. In Vedas, Brahmanas and Aranyakas are also considered. Now, the Brahmanas, in 19 Brahmanas, the Brahmanas which speak about Rigveda are Aitreya, Kaushitaki, Samakyana. Okay? The Brahmanas which speak about Yajurveda are Kastaka, Kapila Shakta, Maitrayani, Taitreya. The Brahmanas which speaks about Samaveda are Panchvisha, Sadvisha, Jaiminiya. Brahmana which speaks about Atharva Veda is Gop-At. Okay? That's all about Brahmanas. Now moving to the next, Aranyakas. Aranyakas are also called as forest books. They deal with mysticism, rites, rituals, sacrifices, and symbolism. Sacrifices and symbolism. Okay? Mysticism is nothing but logic. Father of Indian logic is Dignaga. Father of Indian logic is Dignaga. Aryankas are a bridge between Karma Marga and Gnana Marga. Okay? Aryankas are the bridge between Karma Marga and Gnana Marga. Karma Marga is explained in Vedas. Gnana Marga is explained in Upanishads. Okay? Karma Marga is nothing but way of work, deeds. Okay, now moving to the next topic, that is Upanishads. Now moving to the next point, the topic Upanishads. Okay, Upanishads. Moving to the next topic, Upanishads. Upanishads are total 108 in number. It is the concept Vedanta. It means end of Vedas. What does the term Upanish means? Upanish means sitting near the foot of the mentor. Okay? Upanishads deals with philosophy, karma theory, rebirth. Okay? According to Upanishads, no need any priest for cults and rituals. Directly we can call the god. But according to Vedas, for rituals and cults, priest is required, and that is a expensive process. And Upanishads is not an expensive process because no priest is required for Upanishads. Vedas are ritualistic in nature. Upanishads are anti-ritualistic in nature. And both are contradictory. Vedas and Upanishads are contradictory to each other. Okay, Vedas and Upanishads are contradictory to each other. What does ritualistic mean? Ritualistic mean performing pujas, yagnas with the help of priest. Okay? Vedas says that to attain karma, pujas and yagnas are done with the help of the priest. But Upanishads says that no, priest is not required for performing homas and yagnas. Upanishads were existed in later Vedic period. Okay? Upanishads are existed in later Vedic period. And according to Vedas, Sudras were not eligible to attain moksha. But Upanishad theory says that Gnana Marga is the pathway for moksha. The ultimate goal of humankind to attain moksha is to attain moksha. The ultimate goal of humankind is to attain moksha. What does moksha mean? Moksha is nothing but there is no birth again. If a person did not attain moksha, he is going to have rebirth, also known as punarjarma. Okay? Now types of Upanishads that are Aitreya Upanishad. Number 1, Aitreya Upanishad. It is the first Brahmanical text which gave importance to Kshatriyas. It is the first Brahmanical text which gave importance to Kshatriyas. Aitreya Upanishad talks about creation of Atman and consciousness. Atman, soul. Creation of soul and consciousness. Now, next Upanishad. This is first and this is second. Chandogya Upanishad. Coming to the next Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad. These are types of Upanishads. Okay. It deals with the rhythm and chanting of mantra. Okay. In Chandogya Upanishad, 3 ashrama dharmas were mentioned. In Chandogya Upanishad, 3 ashrama dharmas were mentioned. Number 1. Wait for a while, I will rub that. Number 1, Brahmacharya, which means student life. Grihasya, which means householder. Vanapratya, which means retirement. Okay? Brahmacharya means student life. Grihasya means householder. And Vanapratya means retirement. Retirement is nothing but giving all responsibilities to son and taking rest. Now, Vedic literature gave importance to birth to attain moksha. But Upanishads gave importance to knowledge to attain moksha. Vedic literature says that higher birth, lower birth to attain moksha. Okay. Now coming to the next Upanishad, that is Jabala Upanishad. Jabala Upanishad. This is on. Okay. Jabala Upanishad. It speaks about 4 ashrama dharmas. To this, one was added, that is Sannyasin, which means salvation. Sannyasin means nothing but religious beggars. That means monks. Coming to the next Upanishad, that is Katha Upanishad. Katha Upanishad. Tell the story of Nachaketa and Yama. Now I will explain that story. Nachaketa was a 5 years boy. His life was took away by Yama at the age of 5 years. Then there occurs a conversation between Yama and Nachaketa. In that conversation, they speak about man, Atman, nothing but soul, knowledge, and moksha, salvation. Okay? Moksha, salvation. Okay, that's all right. Next type of Upanishad, that is Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. It talks about transmigration of Atman, passage of metaphysics and ethics. What does transmigration of Atman? Atma will merge into Paramatma. Transmigration of Atman means Atma will merge into the Paramatma. Okay? The slogan which is famous, that is Asatoma Sadgamaya. Asatoma Sadgamaya is taken from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Okay. Now coming to the next Upanishad, that is Mundaka Upanishad. It contains the mantra Satyameva Jayate. It contains the mantra Satyameva Jayate. Satyamaya Janate means truth only triumph. Truth only triumph. Triumph is nothing but wins. Okay. Now coming to the last Upanishad, that is Taittiriya Upanishad. It is important Upanishad. Okay. It speaks about slogan and chanting. Okay. Matrudevo Bhava, Pitrudevo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava was there, and it speaks about that. Okay. It speaks about that. Now we have completed Shruti literature. Okay. We have completed Shruti literature. Now moving to the next Shruti literature. Now I am going to explain about Shruti literature. And then I will conclude this section and I will discuss in next session about other details. And this is the last topic. Now I am going to explain is Shruti literature. And sorry, the another important topic under Shruti literature is Upavedas. Okay, I forgotten to mention this. Upavedas are to understand Vedas. Upavedas are to understand Vedas. Upavedas are of 4 types. Dhanurveda, it speaks about archery or warfare. It belongs to Yajurveda. Okay. Next, Gandharva Veda. It speaks about dance and music. Of course, dance and music belongs to what Veda? Sama Veda. So this also belongs to Sama Veda. And Ayurveda, it deals with medicine, and this belongs to Rigveda. Now fourth, Shastra Sahasra or Shilpa Veda. Better to remember this name, Shilpa Veda, because it was a little bit confusing name, Shastra Sahasra. It deals with sculpture, military technology, and it belongs to Atharva Veda. Okay, that's about Upavedas. And yeah, coming to the point of now moving to the point of Smruti literature. Now coming to the point of Smruti literature. Smruti is nothing but which means to remember. Okay. Shruti means to hear. Smruti means to remember. Okay. Under Smruti literature, we are going to learn about Vedangas. Saddharasanas, Puranas, epics or itihasas, that's it in Smruti literature. Now coming to the point of Vedangas. Vedangas are 6. Vedangas are to understand Vedas. Vedangas are 6. They are Siksha, Kalpa, Kalpa Sutras. It speaks about rituals. In Kalpa Sutras, there are 4 types. Okay? There are 4 types. Trautra Sutras, Griha Sutras, Dharma Sutras, and Sulva Sutras. Okay, Saura Sutras, Griha Sutras, Dharma Sutras, and Sulva Sutras. What does Saura Sutras means? It deals with public ceremonies. These are conducted by the king for the purpose and welfare of the public. Griha Sutras are deals with domestic ceremonies. Dharma Sutras deals with duties and functions or orders to follow in life, what to do, what not to do. And again in Dharma Sutras, it consists of some books. I am going to mention those books because it's difficult to pronounce not. Mitakshara Smruti, Manusmruti, Yajnavalkya Smruti, Brihaspati Smruti, Nanada Smruti, Palasara Smruti. Okay? These books are also called as law books. These are the present sources of Indian. Okay? And Sulva Sutras deals or speaks about vastus, about measurements of 5 altars and vastus, how to construct the house and what measurements should use about the house to construct the house and different vastus. Okay? Sulva Sutras deals with different vastus. And coming to the point of 6 Vedangas, third Vedanga is Chanda. It deals with matrix. And fourth is Nirukta. It deals with etymology, which means to study of creation. Next, Jyotisha. It means astrology. Okay. Astrology, which means astrology. Jyotisha means. Vyakarana is nothing but grammar. Okay. Now, Vedangas had been completed. Now coming to the point of Saddharasanas. No shirt. I have not rubbed with dry cloth so that it was not coming dark. Wait, I will. Saddharasanas. Under Saddharasanas, we are going to discuss about 6 philosophical schools. Philosophical schools are also known as Gnana Marga, knowledge, way to moksha. Sacrificial ceremonies were denied by the 6 philosophical schools. Remember that. Okay. According to these schools, to attain moksha or to attain knowledge, one should go to meditation. According to these 6 philosophical schools, one should go to meditation if one should gain knowledge or to attain moksha. Okay. Now let us discuss about 6 philosophical schools. One is Nyaya. It was proposed by Gautami. And Sankhya. Please note down this and it will be helpful. Sankhya, proposed by Kapila. Vaishvasika, proposed by Kannada. It was KK, Kannada. Yoga, it was proposed by Patanjali. Mimamsa, also known as Purva Mimamsa. Proposed by Jaimili. And Vedanta or Uttara Mimamsa. Proposed by Badrayana. Yeah, these are about the 6 philosophical schools. Okay. Now coming to the next topic, Puranas. See, if I am going fast, please mention in comments that you are going fast. I can reduce my speed in next video. Okay. Puranas are 18 in number. It speaks about genealogy of gods and goddesses. It speaks about genealogy of gods and goddesses and kingdoms and about destruction and creation of world. It speaks about all those. Okay? It speaks about all those. From Brahma Purana to Brahmanda Purana, 18 Puranas are there. From Brahma Purana to Brahmanda Purana. Brahma Purana to Brahmanda Purana. There are 18 Puranas. The word Purana indicates ancient or old. Okay? Now I will discuss about 18 Puranas. I will tell the names of 18 Puranas. They are Agni Purana, Bhagavata Purana, Brahma Purana, Brahmanda Purana, Garuda Purana, Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Brahma Vaivarta Purana, after that Garuda Purana, after that Kurma Purana and Linga Purana. Here I am writing Markandeya Purana, Matsya Purana, Linga Purana, yeah, these two over, right? Matsya Purana, not Linga Purana, Narada Purana, Padma Purana, Shiva Purana, Skanda Purana, Vamana Purana, Varaha Purana, Vayu Purana, Vishnu Purana. I am going to read all the names once again. Please note it down if anyone confused. Agni Purana, Bhagavata Purana, Brahma Purana, Brahmanda Purana, Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Garuda Purana, Kurma Purana, Linga Purana, Markandeya Purana, Matsya Purana, Narada Purana, Padma Purana, Shiva Purana, Skanda Purana, Vamana Purana, Varaha Purana, Vayu Purana, Vishnu Purana. These are the 18 Puranas. Okay. And now coming to the point of Itihasas. Itihasas is nothing but epics. All know that epics are two types, Ramayana and Mahabharata. Epics, I keep the heading epics. Epics are two types, Ramayana and Mahabharata. Mahabharatam. The purpose of studying these epics is to fulfill the 4 goals of life. The 4 goals of life are Dharma, what to follow in life, Artha, economy, financial, okay, it deals with financial, Kama, it deals with desires, Moksha is the ultimate goal of life. As I told you all, Moksha is the ultimate goal of life. These are the 4 goals of the life, and these 4 goals are studied or mentioned in the epics or itihasas or itihasas. Okay, the lifespan of world is divided into 4 ages. All know that lifespan of world is divided into 4 ages. That is Kreta Yuga or Satya Yuga, Kreta Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. Approximately Yuga is of 3000 years according to some information I know. Yuga is of 3000 years according to information I know. Okay. Now, in Kreta Yuga, they went to war. The war occurred between gods and demons. They crossed ocean for the war. Okay? In Treta Yuga, war for the cause of women. Who is that woman? Sita Devi. Okay? They crossed one sea. Lord Rama and Lord Hanuman belongs to the Treta Yuga. Dwapara Yuga, war between Pandavas and Kauravas. It was the war for land. It was the war for land. Lord Krishna was born and he belongs to the Dwapara Yuga. Kali Yuga. Now at present we are living in Kali Yuga, and here the war for color paper, which means money. Now all are fighting for money. Yeah, many happening around the world for money, right? Many are becoming very adapted to the money. It's for the war of color paper, which means money. Okay, coming to the point of Ramayana. It was written by Valmiki. It was in Sanskrit literature. Ramayana speaks about Lord Rama. Lord Rama belongs to Treta Yuga. Okay? Ramayana consists of 7 kandas or books. Among these 7 kandas, Sundara Kanda is the heart of Ramayana because it speaks about Lord Hanuman and about the evidences of Sita Devi. Okay? And of course I mentioned below Ramayana belongs to Treta Yuga. Okay? So that I have discussed about these yugas. Ramayana belongs to Treta Yuga. Mahabharatam. It was written by Veda Vyasa. It was also written in Sanskrit language. The earliest name of Mahabharata is Jaya Samhita, meaning justice always triumphs. Okay? It speaks about war. Mahabharata, first it was called as Jaya Samhita and later it was called as Bharatam. In Bharatam stage, it consists of 1 lakh stanzas. Okay? And later it was called as Mahabharatam. Okay? Which was written by Veda Vyasa. Later it was called as Mahabharatam. Okay? It consists of 1,20,000 stanzas. The 20,000 which were added, it speaks about Yadu Vamsha. Yadu Vamsha is nothing but speaks about Krishna and family of Krishna. Remember that Bhagavad Gita is the song of God, not Itihasas. Okay? Bhagavad Gita is the song of God. It was the song of God. Okay? It was not Itihasas. It was the song of God. Mahabharata is divided into 18 parvas or volumes. From 6th parva, war started. Bhishma Parva. It was a 10 days war. Drona Parva. The 7th Parva is Drona Parva. It was a 5 days war. And the 8th Parva is Karna Parva. It was 2 days war. Definition of friendship are Drona and Karna. Okay? Satya Parva, it is a 1 day war. It is 9th Parva. Okay? Should I write here? Okay, I will write here. I can write here about all the dharmas. About the parvas. Okay? Wait 1 minute. 6th Parva, war started. 6th Parva is Bhishma Parva. 7th Parva is Drona Parva. 8th Parva is Karna Parva. And 9th Parva is Satya Parva. Okay? From 6th Parva, war was started. Okay? Remember that point. And in these wars, 18 Akshasaunis were participated in wars. 11 were on the side of Kauravas and 7 were on the side of Pandavas. As I said you all, this is the war between Kauravas and Pandavas. 7 on the side of Kauravas and 11 on the side of Kauravas and 7 on the side of Pandavas. And Akshasini is described in the Mahabharata as a battle formation. Okay? A battle formation, it consisting of 21,870 chariots, 21,870 elephants, 65,610 horses, 1,09,350 infantry. Okay, as per Mahabharata. This is for as per Mahabharata. Okay. The people who translated Mahabharata into Telugu language. 3 poets had translated Mahabharata into Telugu language. Nannaya, he belongs to 11th century AD. He was a court poet of Raja Narendra, Eastern Chaula king in Eluru, West Godavari. Okay? He translated 2.5 parvas for 18 parvas. Okay? In Andhra Mahabharatam. He was called as Adi Kavi. He was all called as Adi Kavi in Telugu. Okay? Tikkanna, next poet, Tikkanna. He belongs to 13th century AD. He was a court poet of Manuma Siddhi, Telugu Chaula king. He translated 15 parvas. He translated highest parvas in 3 poets. He translated 15 parvas. Okay. Next poet. Okay, here I write Yerranna. Okay, next poet Yerranna. He belongs to 5th century AD. 15th, not 5th, it was 15th. He was a court poet of Proloyavema Reddy. He was a court poet of Proloyavema Reddy. He was the founder of Kondavudu Reddy Kings. Who is Proloyavema Reddy is the founder of Kondavudu Reddy King. He translated remaining half Parva. Okay? Do you know that first time the word Andhra was found in Aitreya Vadanam? Okay? This is not there in topic, but according to my own knowledge, I am saying Andhra, the first time Andhra word is found in Aitreya Vanand. Okay? Aitreya Vanand. Okay. Now we have completed Smruti literature also. Yeah, guys. And I will discuss conditions in next class. Next video which I am going to post is about the conditions. And please, if you have any doubts, please comment us. We will surely reply you 100%. Okay, if you have any doubts, please comment us. We will surely reply you as soon as possible. And please share, subscribe, like, comment. Please do encourage us. And this is my first video. Hope everyone will understand everyone had understand this video, this topic. If not, anyone had any doubts, please let us know about your doubts and we will reply to those doubts who had doubts. And please subscribe our channel study.com. Please do encourage us, guys. Please encourage us. Thank you for watching this video. Keep smiling. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for watching. Bye.